Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando, that's Corey, and today we are doing 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, all that happy stuff, and share with your friends. Go tell your friends about it. The Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, starring Harrison Ford, Karen Allen, Paul Freeman. This is the first in the Indiana Jones series of movies.
Yes, sir.
And this movie opens up in South America, 1936. Indiana Jones leads an exploration party through the jungle. The rest of the party basically bounces at the beginning of this movie. Indiana and his little sidekick, Sapito, enter a dark cave. It's all booby-trapped. They're looking for this statue, almost like a bust. And they get there. He does the whole sandbag trick, switches out the bust for the sandbag. And I haven't seen this movie in a while, and I totally forgot the iconic scene of him setting off the trap and them trying to get out and the whole ball rolling. I forgot that was in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Oh yeah.
When it happened, I was like, oh shit.
And this did an opposite of Flashdance, where it put an iconic scene in the first 10 minutes, but had more iconic scenes later.
Yes.
Which Flashdance did not do. It's the one, rah, and then it was just like, steelworker. But yeah, this was fantastic.
Yes. And Indiana gets double-crossed by everybody in this movie. We'll put that out there. They're trying to cross the little gap, and he's got the whip, and they're trying to swing across. Sapito swings, takes the little gold head, and bounces. Indiana finally gets across. The gap didn't look that wide. I get it. Harrison Ford didn't look like the best athlete in the world, but my man can't jump. He just...
No, and I like that aspect of Indiana Jones throughout all these movies is he can't jump. He really can't punch very hard. He never really knocks a lot of people out.
No,
he knocks them down, but he doesn't knock them out. He is very much Professor Jones, as before he's Indiana.
He's very much an archaeologist. The ball comes rolling. He gets out. He gets trapped, basically, by, is it Belloc?
Belloc. I don't know, but if you pronounce it wrong, he will literally laugh in your face.
No, we call him Beloch. Belloc.
That's rude. Fucking laughing at him for pronouncing it wrong. But he takes the statue. Indiana Jones gets screwed again. And in the chaos and whatever, he runs away, gets on the plane, heads back home. This is what I don't like about Belloc in this whole movie.
Okay.
Because he keeps showing up throughout this movie and haha, Indiana, I got another one up on you because we're the same and we're both archaeologists. I venture to say Belloc is not an archaeologist because he never archaeologies anything. He shows up after people do the work and he just takes the shit and leaves.
That's exactly why he doesn't kill Harrison Ford throughout this whole movie every time he has the opportunity, because if he does, he stops being an archaeologist.
Again, we see there is nothing you can possess which I cannot take away.
I mean, he later becomes the owner of Pawn Stars because he basically, that's what he does. He just steals shit for nothing from people and then here, I'll sell it for a profit. Indiana gets back to the States. He's teaching in an archaeology class. He's basically going over his last escapade. And this is the one thing that I don't get, and I don't know why it's in there. But listen, I get it. Professors probably get hit on in their classes. But there's the young lady in the front row that has "Love You" written on her eyes, on her eyelids. I don't know why that's in this movie. Is it to show that, he's smoldering or hot or whatever? I don't really get that. But
yeah, I don't need somebody going ooh la la to recognize if another human being is attractive or not. Like, it's pretty clear Harrison Ford's a good-looking guy.
yeah. Indy's friend, Marcus Brody, played by Delholm Elliott, he informs him that there's 2 Army intelligence officers there to see him and want to talk to him about Abner Ravenwood. His former teacher was his friend until he broke up with his daughter Marion, and now they know Taki. They meet with the officers. The officers have discovered Tanis. It's an ancient city. It's the burial site of the Ark of the Covenant. So the Nazis are looking for the Ark, and they're coming to Indy for help and saying, yes, we need to find this because if it falls in the hands of Hitler, we all die, go bye-bye. They basically give him everything he wants. He misses out on the gold head, but he has some other like little trinkets that he got there. And he's basically just trying to pay the university for like his trips and shit to do all these things. And the gold head would have like paid for everything, but he's like fighting for cash and to be able to do these things. And the army's just like, here's an unlimited amount of money. Go find this Ark of the Covenant. So Hitler. Indy flies to Nepal. He's followed by the Nazi agent. Is it Tot? During the movie, I don't ever remember his name being said.
No, that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know.
But in the credits, this Ronald Lacey plays the Nazi agent, and it's spelled T-O-H-T. So we'll just call him Tot, or I'll spell it a little differently, that hoe over there.
I was going to say.
So he goes to speak with Marianne, who is like running a bar in Nepal.
Yeah.
She has the little medallion that goes on the staff.
She has the head of the staff of Ra.
And apparently is a really good drinker. She's good at that.
Her character is so incredibly frustrating throughout this whole movie because they set her up as a badass. She's traveled the world. She's a well-traveled woman because Abner took her on all these adventures looking for his trinkets. And, you know, she's out drinking all these guys, partying, owns the bar, standing upright, everybody, time to get out. Yet she is constantly the damsel in distress when real shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be, you know, super badass and taking out guys next to Indiana Jones, but she should be able to hold her own a little bit better. Well, and the only reason she's even viewed as a strong character, or you know, somebody able to take on their own, is because Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom showed us Willie Scott, which was just woman puked onto a page. It was shit.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason Karen Allen's character is even remembered half as fondly as she really was, because she didn't do anything of note. So the little Nazi agent and some of his goons enter the bar after Indiana leaves. They're also looking for the little medallion for the staff of Ra. And they basically just start busting her up, busting the place up, and Indiana shows up and all hell breaks loose and a fire starts and the bar burns to the ground. So she's basically got nothing anymore. So she just looks at Indiana like, I'm your goddamn partner! This scene kind of reminded me of the scene in, No Holds Barred, when the robbery's happening in the diner and Hulk Hogan is like, I'm going to save the day. Those robbers would have taken about $200 from these people and just left. And instead, you caused $5,000 worth of damage to the restaurant. Indiana, she would have eventually given this up, and maybe like I'm going to take your eye. Okay, you lose an eye, you give up the trinket, you still wake up the next day. Indiana Jones comes in, you've lost everything, and are now attached at the hip with this fucking guy because you got nowhere to go, no money, nothing.
They literally burned your shit to the ground. So the two fly to Egypt where they see Indy's friend Salah. This is where Indy makes fun of him for pronouncing Balak's name wrong.
We call him Balosh. Belloc. Belloc.
He's working on the Nazi site, and he reveals that the Nazis are aided by Balak. This is when Indy laughs at him and says, "You pronounced it wrong, dickhole. This is how you pronounce it." Salah says that he knows a man who can read the ancient inscriptions and give the precise measurements of the staff. Indy and Marion, after this, are attacked by sword-wielding Arabs that are working for the Nazis. Indy fights them off. Marion gets taken away in a basket because of a Nazi monkey. Am I right in assessing that?
Pretty much. It's a giant mute man.
Yes.
Essentially the Arabic version of Lenny from Mice and Men. And his pet monkey, who speaks and does spying tricks for him.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure the monkey does a Zig Heil during this whole...
Oh, he does.
They try to escape. Indy shoots one of the guys that crashes, explodes. Marion's dead. Indy goes to drown his sorrows at a bar because he's sad because, the girl that he used to have sex with and then left and then burned her bar down and then got her killed, because things and stuff. So he gets...
You figuratively ruined her life by breaking up with her. You figuratively ruined her life by burning her business down to the ground. Business/home down to the ground. And then you literally ruined her life by not just giving her the money you initially promised and taking the item and sending her on her way. Like, let me take you to the airport in Nepal or however I got here.
Yeah.
And I'll send you back to the States. You can start over again with this wad of cash I just gave you. Nah, it's a better idea if you come with me to the Middle East in the 1930s, because, women's rights were swimming then, and just, get blown up in the back of a Nazi armor-carrying truck.
He gets met up by some Nazis who take him to Balak. They talk about the burial site and the Ark of the Covenant and all this stuff. Indy goes to, shoot him, I guess. And then all 80 of Salah's kids come in and take him away, and they leave.
Indy's going to kill Balak. Balak knew this was going to happen and has the entire bar stand up with their rifles ready to shoot Indy.
Yes.
Indy's like, oh, dip, I overreacted maybe. And is only saved because Nazis care about Arabic kids.
Salah takes Indy to see the shaman who's reading the headpiece's inscriptions.
And is also selling gremlins.
Yes, he is. The shaman basically reveals two facts here. First, the headpiece gives the precise height of the staff. And second, the staff that the Nazis used, because they only had half of the inscription because it was burned into that hoe over there's hand. And they only had half of it, so it's too tall. So they're basically digging in the wrong site. So they're never going to find this freaking thing. Indy sneaks into the little camp with Salah. He's lowered into the underground map room, which has an eerily precise of the area. I don't know where they got that made, but they
were on it.
Yes, they were. But using the raw headpiece, he gets the precise location of the Well of Souls. As he's leaving, he goes into the little tent, sees that Marion is actually still alive. He goes to untie her, and she's like, hey, they've been asking a lot of questions about you. And he goes, oh, dip, I probably shouldn't let you go because they're asking about me, so fuck you, bitch, and leaves.
His fight or flight response is amazing.
It's on point. You already broke up with her and broke her heart. You burned down her bar. We're just gonna keep reviewing this throughout the whole thing. You thought that you got her killed. You realized that you didn't get her killed, But now they're asking questions about you, and if I take you, they'll realize that I'm here. So
how do you draw that conclusion? I don't know.
No idea. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave you here? Dope. So he leaves her there. They go in at night. They find the Well of Souls. They get the thing off. And snakes. There's all these snakes. We've realized through this movie, Indy hates snakes.
I hate snakes, Chuck! I hate them!
This is a religious artifact.
Yes.
Clearly from the Christian faith.
Yes.
Snakes in the Christian faith are not okay. They're bad guys.
Yes.
I'm a snake. I'm a slithery little snaky snake.
So why are snakes protecting one of the most sacred religious artifacts?
Are they Are they protecting it, or are they just there? Because
they seem to be protecting it, because without them, it's just like, yo, bitch, here's the Well of Souls.
Well,
Come get your ark, son.
I had more of a problem with, because of the Christian faith, but they have like the dog head.
That also
statues. But
yes.
Whatever.
You got Egyptian gods guarding Christian relics.
It can't all be, super accurate. Whatever.
Some of it can.
They box up the ark.
Yep.
They send it up. Salah goes up. And Indy anytime there's a rope, and if I'm Indiana Jones, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not doing the whole rope thing. Because anytime there's a rope, it's cut or it's taken away. The rug's pulled out from under him every time there's a rope in the scene. And it's Balak and they're, ho, 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 I outdid you again. You were digging in the wrong place, you asshole. Like,
yep.
If I wasn't so goddamn smart,
yes,
you would never have any of this. They take that, they toss Marion into the well, much to Balak's dismay, because he wants to marry her now because they drank and stuff.
And I just got to ask this question too.
Yes.
You're Indiana Jones. You're this super smart archaeologist. You are constantly outthinking all of your competitors, whether it's Belloc or whatever. You're getting the artifacts nobody can get. You have uncovered where the Ark of the Covenant is.
Yes.
Right? Marion's there. Belloc is dealing with the Nazis who, even at this point, it's still relatively early in the Nazi war machine.
Mm-hmm.
But the Nazis are kind of like, oh, they're not that patient of people. They want things now. Why, if you are not this smart guy who knows where the artifact is, knows Belloc is on site, working for these notoriously impatient people,
yes,
just take Marion and go chill for like a month. Belloc's dead. They've moved on. You go back, pick up the Covenant. Job done. Thanks, bros.
Exactly.
All you have to do is report to the Army intelligence officers that came to see you that, hey, they're digging in the right spot. Don't worry. I'll go back in a month.
This is the first time that I've heard the Nazis described as, first and foremost, impatient.
Well, for this conversation, they're pretty impatient. Yes.
So, Indy and Marion are in the hole. They're trying to figure out how to get out because they seal the top. Indy then basically rocks a statue that's been there for, I don't know, tens of thousands of years, and just sees snakes coming through apparently a hollow wall. So he knocks the statue through the thing. They get out. They get to a plane. Apparently this is like the landing field for the Nazi planes. There's a little subtle comedy here because
it's great.
He fights off a mechanic and a shirtless Nazi soldier because he's like, hey, there's a fight. I'm taking my fucking shirt off. Watch this shit.
Ironically, is like the tag team partner with the guy from Escape from New York.
Yes.
Just put a furry diaper on the Nazi guy, and they're basically the same person.
Yeah, pretty much. So Marion somehow gets into the little machine gun turret on the plane.
And gets herself stuck.
Yes, gets herself stuck. Accidentally shoots all the gas can things all over the place, so that shit starts to explode.
I don't know what to do. I've got my cramps.
But Indy is sitting there after he kicks the shit out of the mechanic. He's getting the shit kicked out of him by Big John Studd without his shirt on. And again, this is, you know, just him getting lucky or whatever. If the plane isn't spinning and the dude doesn't get mowed down by the propeller of the plane, like, Indy's dead. And so is Marion. Oh. But because of luck, he gets out of this whole situation and then helps Marion. So now he's helping Marion now.
Yeah, well, he's got to now. I mean, all hell's broken loose.
He's got no other choice.
Right?
He finds like the convoy of trucks and whatever, chases them down. That's actually a really good action scene. Like that whole him trying to take over the truck.
And that is a very Indiana Jones action sequence.
Yes. And what I did really like about, and what I like about this movie and the rest of the Indiana Jones movies is the stunts in this movie are really well done. Like they and again, because it was 1981, you had to rely on that shit versus CGI to carry your movie. But this little action sequence is fantastic. But he follows them to the sub that they're taking the Ark of the Covenant wherever they're taking it to. They also have Marion now. And because they were on the boat, they had the Ark.
Yep.
The boat gets attacked by the sub. They take the Ark. They take Marion. And Indy just dips out. Like, he just disappears on that boat.
Yes.
So they can't find him. And he shows up on the side of the sub. And he gets in and tries to do his Indy thing. They're marching this Ark of the Covenant through the desert, but Indy, like, he doesn't have the best laid plans throughout this whole movie.
He basically has no plan.
He goes, he's that friend that just does the first thing that comes to his mind.
We're going streaky! Yes!
He shows up in the mountains. Now, you have control. The person with the higher ground has control. And he's got a freaking rocket launcher.
Yes.
And Balak just calls his bluff, like, you're not going to destroy this because you want to know what it does too, because archaeology.
And then Balak decides he's so correct in this that he's going to also hold the Nazis at gunpoint.
Exactly. So they take it to the hilltop. He gets captured again. Him and Marion are tied to this pole. They do the whole ceremony thing. They open the top of the Ark and there's just sand in it. Then all hell breaks loose, or all heaven, or whatever.
All heaven,
or
yeah.
Whatever's in there breaks loose. And all the souls start coming out, and Indy says, hey, close your eyes, because...
Shut your eyes, Marion. Don't look at it. No,
You're not worthy to see God's vengeance.
Yes. So him and Marion close their eyes. The spirits attack all the Nazis and everybody there. And you have melty faces. And Balak just explodes. You have that hoe over there's face melts. The other dude, the Dietrich guy, his face melts.
I didn't know when your face melted. Due to Christian and Hebrew rituals, that it turns actually white and flows like a chocolate fountain.
So the energy masses, spirits, they shoot up into the sky before returning to the Ark and closing and resealing it. And then weeks later, Indy and Marcus feud with the army over the whereabouts of the Ark. Indy's angry that they have no idea what they have in their possession. And then it cuts to the army spray painting the seal on it and the little code for it and taking it into their gigantic inventory of weird shit that they have buried somewhere.
And it's so everybody, I guess Indy and Karen Allen to that extent, are so blasé about, like, do you realize, like, you just got rock hard confirmation that God exists.
Yes.
And you're like, where's the Ark? You don't know what you have. I'm going to go fornicate out of wedlock with my girlfriend and drink. And what the fuck, dude? Like, you just discovered the raw power of God and that God exists.
Yes.
You should be the crazy fucker on the street corner like, it's all ending. Repent now.
The world will end next week. Spend your children's college fund. Thaw that turkey now.
And then the army just goes, hey, go put the Ark next to the UFO. It's fine.
It's in an unmarked box. Nobody will care about it. The alien is much more important than the raw power of God. I
really, and I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy this movie. 100% full disclosure, because it had been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it would hold up. But again, and I know, we made fun of some things throughout this movie, but for the subtle comedy throughout, with a few things, like you had the whole sword guy when Marion's getting taken and Indy just shoots him. That's just a funny scene. That's a great scene. But the movie overall was extremely entertaining. Like,
oh yeah, it was. The movie's great. Like, and look, we rip movies constantly. That's pretty much what this show is about.
Yeah,
you can rip Casablanca, you can rip Gone with the Wind, you can rip The Godfather. Doesn't matter what movie it is. You can find shit to pick and poke at.
Absolutely,
does not necessarily mean it's a bad movie. This movie is fantastic.
It's awesome. I still like this movie a lot.
It's a great movie. Now, I guarantee you somewhere down the line, we will review Temple of Doom. That is a dumper of a movie. It just from top to bottom, we're going to tear that one apart.
Yeah. From
the Lost Ark, and even if it was just like, I give it a B+. What it spawned with the Indiana Jones character.
Yeah.
Makes it immediately an A+, because it's just a phenomenal character, great all around franchise. And this movie, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And Karen Allen, for the record, Karen Allen is the best of the Indiana Jones women.
Oh, agreed.
They have Bond girls, like the Indiana girls.
Yeah.
Karen Allen's 100% the best. They could have just made her so much more badass.
They could have. They could. She had the ability to be like almost like a Laura Croft character.
Exactly.
And she fell disturbingly short of that.
Yeah. She should have been able to shoot a gun. She should have been able to take on a Nazi. Like, even if, like, I'm going to get into it with the Nazi, and the Nazi hits her in the face. It can still hurt her. But she doesn't have to be like, oh, my fragile disposition has just collapsed. No.
Exactly.
Hit that motherfucker back. You're a badass.
Exactly. But honestly, dude, overall, I still think this holds up over time. 100%. And
great movie.
I won't wait as long to watch it again because I had a good time.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this weekend I'm probably just going to do a little Indiana binge watching.
Might be a good idea.
Yeah, I might hammer home all the movies. And I'll admit this. The Crystal Skull, that is 100% one of my guilty pleasure movies. Every time it's on, I turn it on. It just, it is the dumbest fucking movie. It is so my guilty pleasure movie. If you have a guilty pleasure movie you're not afraid to let us know about, comment that shit.
Exactly. Let us know for sure.
Yes.
Well, do you have anything else?
No.
All right. For Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark.